Hello, this is a follow-up to my previous video where I talked about uh, the math behind advantage and disadvantage in Dungeons and Dragons. About 3 weeks ago, someone left a comment on that video asking how leveling up affects like the odds of succeeding on checks. So naturally, I did the only reasonable thing there was to do. I made a calculator in about a day. I forgot to make the video, and then I waited 3 weeks, and now I'm making the video here 3 weeks later. So you can see this is my little calculator. If you want to see this, I'll leave a link in the description. This is public to anyone on the web. To edit it, you'll have to make your own copy. So you can hit this file button up here, hit make a copy. It'll leave you a copy on your Google Drive that you can then go and mess around with. Don't mess with any of the boxes other than the ones in yellow. So basically, here we have the CR or the AC, whatever you're trying to get to or beat. Here we have 15. I've left these as reference for you. Dungeon Master Guide says 15 is a moderate task. So this is a moderate task. So let's say I'm trying to do moderate task. The level 5 character, they have a 16 in whatever their stat is. That's like their strength score before they turn it into a modifier. They don't have expertise. They don't have jack of all trades. According to this, their bonus to hit would be 6. Their odds of normally succeeding the check are 60%. Their odds of succeeding with advantage are 84%. Their odds with disadvantage is 36%. Over here is a representation of this. This is 60% in a little graph. The red is obviously not making the check. The green is making the check. With advantage, here's our representation here. And with disadvantage down here. Obviously, you can see you're more likely to make the check with disadvantage or with advantage, and less likely with disadvantage. Hopefully that's obvious. This is here for if anyone has trouble making sense of the numbers themselves. Hopefully the visual representation helps them a little bit. This advantage boon and disadvantage bane, this is how much, what percentage you're losing or gaining when you gain or lose advantage or disadvantage. If you want to know like how that is affected, you can see the previous video where I discussed that. This percentage is basically what percentage you gain. So let's say you had a 5% chance to succeed, like you had to roll a 20 on the dice and you'd get it. If the Dungeon Master gave you a +1 on that check, you could roll a 19 or a 20. Technically, your odds would be doubled, so this number would be 2, but you'd still only have a 10% chance to make that check over here. So this number is probably more useful. This number is just interesting data to have. Yes, if you have expertise in the check, you can just put anything in this box here, and it'll add the expertise bonus. If you were a bard and you want to know about your jack of all trades, you can hit this button here, and it'll decrease your proficiency. The calculator automatically adds proficiency in. I'm assuming you don't care about a check that you don't have proficiency in, because that's probably not why you're building your character for. Leveling wise, I made this little graph. So there's 2 graphs up here. This one calculates like the raw stats, and this is our the like bonus that you're getting from advantage or disadvantage. Same basic idea. Let's say we're trying to hit a 15 over here again. We don't have expertise. We don't have jack of all trades. We're not a fighter. We don't have any miscellaneous bonuses. We're starting at level 1. That's an important distinction here. We're going to start, let's say we have a 14 in whatever stat this is. Maybe this is like dexterity or something for a fighter. So you can see that we level up. Our stat is increasing by 2 at levels 4 when we get the ability score improvement. Then it levels up again when we hit level 8. Again when we hit 12. And then we get another one at 16, but we don't increase it because we can't go over 20, obviously. Your odds with advantage, disadvantage are all displayed here for every level. This information is probably not that readable to you, and that's fine because I left it that way for a reason, because we have this nice graph up here that explains all of that. I think is a much better visual representation. So we have, we start off with a 50% chance to succeed, and then we can see we go up every time we get that little bonus. And then at 20, our character, assuming we leveled up that stat, that's the stat we care about, would have like an 80% chance to succeed. It looks like 80 something, 85 is the number. And then you can see the same thing. We have 75% chance to succeed at level 1, and then that goes all the way up to like 97. Wow, that's a lot. And then with disadvantage, you're at starting at 25, and then you go up to 72% or whatever. So that's interesting data, and I think it's a lot easier to read than this. Like, for example, you can see from level 1 to 20, it's just a little, you get a little bit more of a level 20 character doing something without advantage has only slightly better odds than a level 1 character doing something with advantage. Advantage is a really big buff for this kind of situation, and we talked about it. This advantage doesn't always apply this big of a buff, but we talked about that more in the previous video. You can go back there and see. Here's our difference with advantage and disadvantage. These numbers should always be the same. If they're not the same, something's going wrong. I just have them both there to kind of prove to you and me that those numbers are always going to be the same. The difference between the blue and the red line is always going to be the difference between the red and the yellow line. The gaps are always going to be the same. So there you go. In case it wasn't clear, fighters get two more ability score improvements than any other class. So if I mark the fighter box, our score would go up a little bit sooner than it would otherwise. But obviously they have the same like limit as everybody else. Just like earlier levels, you can see that represented on the bar graph. Miscellaneous is any bonuses you might have from like a magic item, if you have one of those magic stones that float around your head, or if you have a magic cloak that gives you bonus on saving throws, something like that. You can have, I have +1 bonus here, and then everything goes up a little bit. Or I have a +5 bonus because my DM's insane and gave me a really powerful magic item, something like that. So yeah, I hope this answers a lot of the questions we have. If you're interested in anything regarding this topic, leave me a comment. I'll try to just reply to any comments. Hopefully nothing warrants another calculator, honestly. I will be happy to make another one, but I'll try to answer anything as succinctly as I can in the comments if you have any questions. If you have any ideas for further videos, leave me a comment, let me know. I was thinking about looking into like hit dice and what the odds are for rolling stats on those. Like the 46 drop the lowest kind of thing. Or some of the other methods that people have constructed, and comparing that to point buy and the standard array and stuff like that. And because I was wondering about like what the odds are of actually rolling the standard array. Anyways, if you like this video, leave it a like, leave me a comment down below. I don't know, if you want to see my hit dice video that I might never make, subscribe so you can never see it. I think that's everything that I'm supposed to tell you to do. Have a good day.